Welcome back to Indie Rockers Ball, more specifically to our Season 13 premiere.
We are so excited to be back so that we can finally rant at you about some more music that we love.
Later on in the episode, we've got some songs by Schell on Check This Out, followed by an interview with Tanner himself. So stick around.
Now, on to the news. All right, rockers. This week on Saturday, February 12th, IUP's Department of Music has a student saxophone recital featuring senior Mark Cesari. The event will take place at Gorell Recital Hall from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Admission is free. And later this month, on Tuesday, February 22nd, the band Sad Park will be performing at the Mr. Roboto Project in Pittsburgh. Also performing that night will be the bands Hot Dog Water and Heaven on Earth, as well as Pittsburgh artists like Little Gunpowder. Doors open at 7 p.m. with the show starting at 8. Masks and proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test are required to attend. The link to buy tickets will be down in the description below if you're watching on our YouTube channel. That's all.
On February 4th, local band Sheets Run dropped some cassettes via their Bandcamp page that featured all 5 of their original songs. This was a very limited release of only 25 tapes that sold out on the first day, but not to worry, this was the band's first ever merch drop. Seeing that it went so well, hopefully there will be another one on the horizon. If and when that happens, I'll be the first to let you know. I plan to bring you a review of their releases on an upcoming episode, so keep an eye out for that. Alright, that's it for the news. Stay tuned for a music lesson.
Hey, how's it going, rockers? Welcome back to another season of Music Lesson. This week, I am going to be teaching you Dead to Me by These Wolves. So it's going to be in drop D tuning. Everything else stays the same. So I will be teaching you pretty much the whole thing. So it's going to start off like this. So it's going to be this pattern. It's going to be open. The first 2 strums are going to be open. So it's going to be top 3. And then you're going to do bars on the 3rd and 4th. So it's going to be on the 3rd, open 3rd, open, then go up to 4, and then back to the 2. So like that. So it does that 3 times, and then the 4th one, before it gets into the verse, it's going to be this. So that's going to be 7, 6, 5, and then 3, and you hold on 3. So you strum each one. So and you do like that, and that's the same until you get to the pre-chorus. So I'll play it at full speed. So it's going to be like that, right? So you get into the pre-chorus, and it's going to be barring the 8th, and then you're going to put your ring and pinky. You're going to be on the 10th, and it's going to be on the B and the G. So it's going to be like this. It's going to be, and then you can go completely open, but I like to leave it on, these 2 on, because it sounds better. At least when I've played the song, it sounds better. So you're going to go from barring the 8th in these 2. So, and then just take it off. So then you're going to put it back on again. And you're going to go down to the 5th, and then you're going to hold your ring in the same position, so it's going to still be on the B, except it's on the 7th now. So instead of being up here, it's going to go down. So it's going to be, and then just hit the bar the 3rd, and you strum it 3 times. Sounds a little weird, so I'll play it half speed, and I'll show you full speed. So it's going to be. All right, that, so full speed would be. So it's pre-chorus, and then the chorus is going to be, I kind of do a mixture of the both, because I think the way this sounds is played better than what the lead would be doing. The lead would be doing like solos and stuff like down here like this. But what I do is I do octaves, so I go 3rd on the A on the 3rd fret, and then ring is going to be on the 5th of the G, so it's going to be like this. Strum it once and slide up to the 5th to where your pointer's on the 5th. So just like that. And then it's going to be the same thing as the barring on the 8th, except I don't add my pinky during the chorus, so it's 8 and then go down to 5 on the bar. So that is like this. And then for the second half of the chorus, it's going to be octaves way up here. So it's going to be pointer on the 12th and then ring on the 14th of the A and the G. So it's going to be. That's going to be going up from 12 to 14 to 10. So it's going to be. And instead of going back to 10 on the last part, it's just going back to 3 again. Right, so it goes back in it again. So I'll try and run through that really quickly for you. So here's basically the gist of the song. So there you go. That's basically how you play Dead to Me by These Wolves. Thank you guys very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you next week.
Welcome back to Staff Picks. I'm here with my guests, Lucy, Flora, and Sydney, and they have 3 delightful albums that they're going to be talking about on this evening. How are all you doing tonight?
Good.
Bad. Alive.
I wish that you weren't bad, Flora. And it's good that you're alive, Sydney. But yeah, so I'm curious, what albums are you guys going to be talking about today?
All right, well, first up, we got the greatest album of them all, in my opinion. We got Depeche Mode, Songs of Faith and Devotion. That's, yeah. Yeah, clicky.
Yeah. We've got Uncle Jazz by Men I Trust.
Now, could you please comment on the artwork there of the album?
Oh, I will after you.
Today I will be talking about Animation by The Riot.
Now, Flora, please, I feel like you need to tell us what's on the cover there.
Okay, so many have been confused by whatever the hell this is, including me until recently. So it looks like butt cheeks, right? Butt cheeks with a hat, but no. Apparently this is the guitarist, his name's Jesse something. This is the guitarist's own doodle, and it is his rendition of a poodle, apparently. Apparently it's a poodle, and this guy appears all over the album art, inside the lovely gatefold. We've got little doodles of the poodle doing various things. He's drumming, he's singing. Yeah, he's
wearing
standing.
some pants.
He's playing guitar. Yeah, he's all
Very
over the
interesting
place.
little
he's
guy.
He's smiling on the back too.
Oh.
So yeah,
I thought that was a nose.
Yeah,
That's his face.
It looks like
So
John Lennon.
for the longest time, I thought that this was the mouth and this was like a closed eye. No,
So is it a snoot or a smile?
it's a smile. I
I thought
think
it was a snoot as well.
Yeah.
You see, that's the beautiful thing about music. It could be whatever you want it to be.
It could be anything you want, man.
Whoa, man.
All right. So now, why did you guys pick these albums to talk about?
Okay, well, I picked this album because, personally, I think it has some of the best songs I've ever heard on it by Depeche Mode. My favorite being Condemnation and Judas. Both of those are very good, in my opinion. So.
Okay. And it's Depeche, not Depeche. Flora?
So I chose Uncle Jazz because This is one of those albums that I've had on a loop for the last 2 years, and it's remained like in my constant rotation. I think it was summer 2020. This was the album that I just was like listening to nonstop. Like, you know, sometimes you just get addicted to an album.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, I've been having this same album on repeat for 2 years. It's not going away, and you know, this is one that I incorporate into my playlists on my radio show all the time. Tune in to the soup. Tune into the soup.
The soup.
Yeah, I play tracks off of this album all the time. Yeah, it's a favorite.
Well, I'm just gonna little segue for a second. I just realized that 2020 was 2 years ago, and I'm kind of having a crisis on set.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's pretty cringe, bro.
Having a crisis on set.
I bet no one saw that coming.
Yeah. So, I'm talking about animation today because I am very close friends with the lead guitarist, Nathan Spangler. He's really cool. Actually, over the in between semester break, I was invited to see one of their shows in person, and honestly, it was probably the most fun I've ever had because they were playing with the Color Fred, which is the lead singer of the lead backup singer of Taking Back Sunday, and it was a 25th anniversary show for the commercials. So yeah, they've got me back into pop punk, which I didn't think was gonna happen, but I've had it on loop for weeks since I did a debut show for my radio.
They drug you back into the pop punk drug
by their little iron claws.
Phase. Yeah.
Pop punk always gets you back.
It always does.
Did you say the Color Fred?
The Color Fred.
That's
I also
love
was
that.
thinking, I was like,
The Color
Fred. It's a really,
That's my
really
favorite
good
color.
band. Yeah.
Fred?
It's really flattering on me too. It doesn't wash me out.
Fred is your color. Oh my God.
Fred is
Fred.
my color.
Fred is
my
my
color, actually.
That's a quote right there. All right, so do these artists, are there any other artists that have a similar sound to the albums that you've picked for us this evening?
So, this question's hard to answer because yes and no. In my opinion, I haven't found another band that yes, there's other synth artists because that's mainly what they play is synth music, pop, synth pop, synth wave stuff. And in the 80s, that was a very popular genre. There's a lot of bands that use synth, but in my opinion, not the way they do. I think if I were to hear just unbiased me would have heard one of their songs on the radio, but oh yeah, that's Depeche Mode, because to me they have a very unique sound.
So, what was the question?
Does this artist have a similar sound to any other artist?
That's kind of a difficult question for me to answer because I didn't really listen to anything like this until I listened to Men I Trust. But I will say it is smooth as hell. It's kind of R&B, but some of the bands that I play alongside Men I Trust, on my show and stuff, are J Som, Japanese Breakfast, Tennis, some stuff like that that's similar, smooth vibes. Yeah, I'd compare it to some of those groups.
Okay, and you, Sydney?
So The Riot has this really good, classic, almost nostalgic sound. Think California skate punk with a little bit of basically early Jimmy Eat World. So a lot of artists I play alongside of them when I listen to them is Face to Face, Cartel, again Jimmy Eat World, Jawbreaker, a lot of those really good kind of staple pioneers of pop punk bands, and some Descendants if I feel like dipping into the earlier stuff.
Okay, very good. And finally, is this your favorite album by the artist?
So no, it's not, but it is a close second. Black Celebration by Depeche Mode is my all-time favorite Depeche Mode. Unfortunately,
Excellent.
I have not been able to find it anywhere on CD, a physical copy. But I brought this in today because this is the one I've been repeating most recently, and I had it on a physical copy, so I figured I'd bring it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite album by Men I Trust. It's kind of one of those times where you get into a band and you have a hard time listening to any of the other albums because you're so stuck on this one. So it's only actually been recently that I've listened to anything else by them. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite.
This is probably my favorite album by them because they only have 2 albums out.
Okay.
And this was, their older album is much more punk-based. So this one, it's a lot more of them finding themselves, and I really love hearing it. And I saw a lot of the songs in person too, so I just kind of have like an attachment to it. So definitely by far my favorite album.
All right, well, I think that's all the time we have this week for staff picks, but come back next week for more great albums from more great people.
Being featured tonight on Check This Out are 3 tracks by Tanner Schell. Their songs can't be played live, but they'll be joining us in studio afterwards to tell us a little bit more. Check it out.
All right, welcome back, rockers. Today I'm here with Tanner Schell, and we're just going to be asking him a few questions about his music. So, just to start off, how are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. It's a new semester, new season. I'm psyched. So how would you describe your sound?
Fuzz. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, that's accurate. Fuzz would be an accurate term, but like experimental synth-esque music, it's hard to explain because like each song has a different vibe to it.
Yeah, I've noticed some are like synthier than others. Others are more like spoken word, but with like a funky riff behind it, which I really enjoy. I think it's really cool. Ambient fuzz. Mm-hmm. So, it's a really interesting sound. It's something new. I've never really heard it before. How do you go about making it?
Well, I'll stay up late at night. I have insomnia. And I just play what I'm thinking. I watch the news a lot. Political science major, just tends to happen. The news is often depressing, and I try to make the news as less depressing as possible with music.
Like, what are the technicalities behind it? Like, do you use any specific instruments or programs?
I use BandLab, Cakewalk as it's also known, and I have a Akai Mini Mach 3 MIDI keyboard that I just play with a lot. Really, there is no like standard to what I'm trying to make. It's just I'm trying to get the thought out of my head. I have a general idea, but it's can I make that in audio form?
So do you work from specific concepts, or do you have certain melodies in mind that you try to match with different concepts?
Specific concepts, like it's easier to find a speech, for example, and work from that. Like, for example, the Bernie Sanders speech is really well to work with because his tone, the way he talks, you can basically make a disco beat with that any day of the week. Other than that, maybe I'll work with a melody, maybe not. It really depends, I guess, would be a proper answer.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part about making music, specifically in this almost style you've invented for yourself?
It's fun. It's very fun. Other people may not like it, but I like it, and ultimately that's all that really matters. Some people have said they enjoy that, and that makes it worth making. If other people can enjoy it, good. If not, oh well, I don't really care.
Exactly. You can't control what people like.
Right.
So on the flip side of that, what do you find is the most difficult aspect of making music, or your least favorite?
Trying to garner an audience that understands what I'm trying to make, because what I'm making is relatively politically charged, but also funky, weird stuff. Trying to garner people who understand the message that I'm saying. I've been having a lot of difficulty with that lately. And I'd say that's the most difficult part of the music making process. Not necessarily making the music, but like making sure that people understand what it's about.
Yeah. So I noticed that a lot of your songs have really interesting names, like Iraqi Tears and Boards of Oppression. How do you come up with that?
Well, at random, if I'm being honest. Iraqi Tears is about the Iraq War. I'm sure that's Iraqi children who were massacred by the United States military committed a bunch of tears and cried a lot. So I just thought about the children when making that song. The Boards of Oppression is about, it's a take on a popular SpongeBob quote that Squidward Tentacles speaks about how the boards of oppression must be torn down. And really it's just a bunch of commie BS, but it's nice. It's a fun title name. I don't think people are naming songs like that, and it's mostly just random.
Yeah, so segueing from that, Monkey Mix, I feel like out of the 3 songs I listened to, it's kind of its own entity.
Yeah.
So can we talk about that? How'd you make Monkey Mix? Where'd you get the idea?
I don't know if there was an idea. Monkey Mix came to me. I didn't come into Monkey Mix. The other way around. I was in a different state of mind, some could say, and I understood that Monkey Mix must be made. I spent 3 hours recording the audio and 10 minutes recording the actual, melody, which, if you hear the song, may not sound like that's the case, but it is.
So, wait, when you say recording, did you make the monkey sounds yourself?
Yes, I did.
I've listened to Monkey Mix, and that is incredibly impressive because they are incredibly realistic monkey sounds. How'd you do that?
No comment.
Okay, I understand. So you have a really, really unique sound. Again, I've never heard anything like it, and I'm very impressed. I adore it. But are there any artists or genres in general you take inspiration from?
There's one artist, Jack Staubert. He is from my local town, Erie. If you listen to his music before, I'm kind of in the same part. It's synthesizer, but it's also not synthesizer, and it's also it has messages that it's trying to pertain to, but you have to have the 5-head energy and kind of be in an altered state to understand. Another one, surprisingly, which may not make sense because of the music that I make, Kanye West is my god. Just his music is revolutionary. I think anyone who makes music in the 21st century has to take influence from Kanye West just because he changed the game.
Are you looking to do that?
No, I'm looking to mess with the game a little. Maybe change a few plays that are playable, but not really change the game itself.
So, I know you mentioned earlier, a lot of your songs have politically charged messages. So, I remember there was one recording I heard where it was like a recording of Noam Chomsky speaking. What are your other songs that are more politically charged that you also highly recommend?
I recommend Presidential F-Ups. The F is not censored, but I think you can understand, fill in the blanks there. It's about presidential war crimes that have been committed since Eisenhower. It is very in detail. It's from a speech that Noam Chomsky gave in 1997. Must listen to, very depressing. But hey, the beat makes it less depressing. Kind of, I don't know.
So, segueing off of that, I'm sorry I keep on looping back to Monkey Mix. It's just such an interesting song. Did Monkey Mix have a political message?
No. Well, I mean, I mean, no. I have more monkey-based songs that have political messages, but Monkey Mix is just all about chimping out.
It's just its own entity.
Sometimes you gotta chimp out and lose it. Call that political, I don't know, but sometimes you just gotta lose it.
A release of just like primal energy.
Exactly.
I really like that. So, what do you feel that you have that maybe other upcoming artists don't have? What do you think sets you apart?
Schizophrenia. Nah, in reality, there's not much. Anyone who learns any music can recreate everything I've made. It's just, would you want to, is the question. I don't think many would. I guess that could separate me, that no one wants to make what I'm making. But hey, I'm gonna go with my first answer. Schizophrenia is what sets me apart from the rest.
Is that why you like make music? Because you're doing something that other people really don't want to or really can't?
It's mostly an escape, if anything. If I can get out of the mental prison that is schizophrenia, I can maybe explain to people how it acts in audio format and the intricacies of it and the thought processes. And that's what I like about music is you can do that. You can't really do that with other media formats. You can't explain how people think as well as you can in music. And for me, I think that's the greatest thing about it.
Yeah, I think just listening to the few tracks I was able to listen to, I think it reflects a lot, and you really get a look like into like the mind of the artist, and it's really, it's almost soul touching. I really enjoy it. Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know? Anything we didn't cover?
Yes, listen to Monkey Mix. It's a real good song.
It's a religious experience.
It's a religious experience. Monkey Mix is life.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to IRB. It was wonderful having you here, and I cannot emphasize enough, listen to Monkey Mix. It was a religious experience. And that's all for now, rockers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching IRB's Season 13 premiere. We've got some exciting performances and reviews planned for you this season, so we hope that you stick around.
And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on when we release new episodes. You can also check the description box below for a link to our socials.
See you next time, rockers. Next time on Indie Rockers Ball, Lucy Panion will be joining us to play 3 tracks, including the debut of their brand new original song. You won't want to miss it.
There needs to be said, and when you think of me, I hope you smile. What will you say when I'm dead? I was amazing, creative, and funny. Oh, why did it have to end? Yeah, why did it have to end?